What's up, everybody? Dr. Scott Simon, chiropractor, Oak Creek Relief and Wellness, also certified functional medicine practitioner. And one of the beauties of incorporating functional medicine into the practice here is we get to delve even more into the cause of issues when it comes to nutrition and other like environmental type causes that might be going on that are contributing to your problems. So one of these problems is thyroid. And sometimes people say, oh yeah, I went to my medical doctor, they gave me replacement therapy for my thyroid gland. It's never as easy as just, oh, your TSH is high, here's a replacement therapy. So I want to do a quick crash course in crash course in thyroid physiology here for you today, just to give you a quick once over on how complicated this could be and where it could be other layers or other pieces to the puzzle that they're not addressing when they just throw a synthetic thyroid hormone at you. Okay, I already had drawn this up here because I figured if I was drawing it all out, it would just take way too long, and I don't want this video to be too long. But basic thyroid physiology 101, here we go. Starting in the brain, you've got your hypothalamus, which is releasing, and this might be kind of small to see, but I'm just gonna have to take my word for it. This is what it says. Starting in the hypothalamus, thyrotropin releasing hormone goes to the anterior pituitary. Tells the anterior pituitary to release thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormone goes to the thyroid gland. Combine that with iodine in the thyroid gland, and you're using also the TPO enzyme, thyroid peroxidase enzyme. You spit out, the thyroid gland spits out T3, T4. About 93% of that is T4, 7% is T3. Now these get shunt or carried over to the liver and through the blood on thyroid binding globulin. Looks like a little car right there, as you can see. So in the liver, the T4 is actually converted into T3. T3 is the active form of our thyroid hormone. T4 is the inactive form. So you have to convert your T4 into T3. And that's another enzyme called 5-deiodinase that's going on. About 60% of the T4 is converted into T3. About 20% is converted into reverse T3, and about another 20% of that T4 is converted into T3 acetic acid, and T3 sulfatase. So those two specifically are going to go to the gut. And if you have a healthy gut microbiome, the good bacteria living in your gut, you're going to use an enzyme called gut mucosa sulfatase. Sulfatase is the enzyme that's going to help convert more of that T3 acetic acid and T3 sulfate into regular T3 to be used. So all this T3 ends up then in the blood, it's transported around, it eventually gets to cells. Your receptor for your T3 is not on the cell membrane, it's actually on the actual RNA inside, DNA. But then this is the tissues where the thyroid hormone has its effect. So as you can see, and then of course there's a feedback loop. When you got too much thyroid T4 in your system, it's going to feed back to the brain and down-regulate the TRH and the TSH release. So it's a feedback loop that's constantly going on. But what do they look at in our friends in Western medicine? You know, they do great things, but what do they look at most of the time? They look at your TSH. If this is high, you got hypothyroid. If this is low, you're hyperthyroid. There's a lot more to it than that, as this shows. If you have been diagnosed with something going on with the thyroid gland and you know that there's more going on and you'd like to explore options, they either have you on a drug or they don't have you on like a Synthroid or levothyroxine, but you still feel the same crummy every single day you get up, you're feeling terrible, you're like, oh, what the heck, something's still going on. Give us a call. We'll sit down and we'll figure it out, because there's a lot of layers to this, there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of areas that we can target specific nutrition to help work and support the physiology in those areas to get your thyroid gland, not just thyroid or hormone replacement, but to get the gland actually working at its optimum. So if that makes sense to you, if this resonates with you, right below the screen here, there should be something to like our page. If you haven't liked Oak Creek Relief and Wellness's page, do so. And looking forward to helping you out. Thanks, everybody.